Have you heard this theory that actually Maverick's dead the whole time? So happy Tuesday. We have box office news and some breaking Pedro Almodovar news. But first, our movie house shout out of the week goes to Cinemapolis in Ithaca, New York.
Woo.
They are very cool. They've been around since 1986 in some form or another. They were one screen down in the basement of a community center. Now they are 5 screens in a beautiful theater in Ithaca. They are showing movies like Elvis now. They have Mr. Malcolm's List coming, which we'll have a review of later this week. They have Marcel the Shell with Shoes On coming, which we reviewed recently. They're doing Where the Crawdads Sing. They're just a cool community place in general, since they are a hotbed of collegiate and retiree activity. They've got a good loyal crowd there, but they were closed for about a year and a half almost, when COVID first hit. And so they are coming back with full capacity and, masks optional and all that. So they're getting back on their feet and could use the love. So check them out below Cinemapolis in Ithaca. Hello. Box office. So it was real tight this week. Elvis and Top Gun were neck and neck for the top spot. But finally, when the final numbers came out, Elvis beat Maverick by $1.5 million.
Well, thank you very much.
So they made like $31 million this weekend, and Top Gun Maverick made only $29.5 million, but also they crossed the $1 billion mark globally.
Yes.
This past weekend. Have you heard this theory that actually Maverick's dead the whole time?
I had not until you mentioned it to me. Lay it out for me. How does this work?
Our friend Allison Wilmore wrote a story in Vulture, which I believe is the origin of this theory, which is that when when Maverick is pushing it in the Mach 10, trying to get to Mach 10,
he actually dies.
When the plane explodes in the sky in a spectacular fireball, that he does not survive that. And everything afterward is his glorious dream of greatness. Because as you like to point out, this is a movie about a guy who is middle-aged, who is better than all the kids with his old school tech. He can go out in the boat with Jennifer Connelly and be on a boat all day, and then she can be on a motorcycle without a helmet, and when she steps off, her waves are perfect beach waves. And just like the glorious shimmering image of him doing everything right, like learning stuff, but mostly being right and being majestic. And he gets to make amends with Goose's son.
Right. I like it because at first I thought it was going to be like a Bruce Willis sitch where he's not really there, but somehow we're led to believe he is. But yeah, if it's all his dream, if this is what flashes before his eyes when the plane blows up, I like it. It makes the movie better, I think,
it's
frankly,
purgatory.
Because it explains a lot of what I found kind of ridiculous about it. So
right, it's ridiculous because it's his fantasy world.
Yeah, no, kudos, Allison. I think you're onto something.
We've had a lot of celebrity response to the Supreme Court decision last week about Roe versus Wade. As everyone from like Megan Thee Stallion getting everyone to chant at Glastonbury. It's a lot of stuff happened at Glastonbury.
Yes.
Olivia Rodrigo and Lily Allen and Billie Eilish. Sharon Stone spoke very candidly about having undergone 9 miscarriages throughout her life. Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day says he's going to renounce his American citizenship and move to the UK.
Wow.
So what do you think of all this?
Look, I don't blame him. People like to complain when celebrities, express an opinion that is contrary to their own, but it's like, they have a platform and they get to do what they want with it. So, if you like, if you're a conservative and you are thrilled whenever Kevin Sorbo takes to Twitter to let you know what he thinks about stuff, or Scott Baio or whatever, then you're going to have to also suck it up when, celebrities on the other side of the political spectrum from you do so. So yeah, let them. These are, shocking times we are in right now. And I don't know that silence is necessarily benefiting anybody.
Do you see what happened to Jodie Sweetin?
I did. Good on her.
Shocking. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, and shitty on the LAPD. Yeah, she was part of a protest. They were closing down a couple of lanes of the 110, was it?
Maybe the 101.
Yeah,
It
one
might
of
have
the
been at
free,
the Mix Master downtown.
maybe, not sure. Anyway, but there's cell phone video of her being like thrown to the ground by an LAPD officer, and she says she's experienced worse because she was once married to an LAPD officer, and
Oh.
I'll leave that at that. But good on her, especially because I think people tend to assume that all Hallmark Channel personalities have the politics of CCB, and they do not. So
Yeah. And she got right back up
yeah,
and continued fighting. So good for you.
she gets knocked down, but she gets up again.
She does. Have you seen all of the "We will adopt your baby" memes?
Yes.
What is your favorite?
Well, I sent you the one of the couple who like were holding the guns in front of their house during the BLM protests. But then this morning I saw the one with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That might be my new favorite. She, by the way, got sentenced today to 20 years.
Oh, I know that was happening. I didn't realize that had actually already happened. That's interesting. I saw also someone did the Shining twins. Someone did Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, an interview with a vampire.
Oh, funny.
Someone did Eraserhead. So there was all of that. Paul Haggis. This is a story we've been pondering, talking about, and didn't really know how to get into it, but now there's an actual date. There's an actual news peg to hold this on. So Paul Haggis is set to go on trial for sexual assault allegations in New York on October 11th. This is about something that supposedly happened years ago with a publicist, correct?
I'm not sure on those details.
Okay. And then separately, recently, he has been detained in an Italian hotel room because he has been accused of assaulting a woman and then just sort of dropping her off at the airport. And she was in such rough shape that like she got taken to the police and she reported what she said had happened to her. So there is a history of these kinds of accusations against him. Now there is an actual trial. So he'll have to leave Italy where he has been held to eventually go to New York to stand trial. So that is like from back during the first Me Too allegations.
Right. Yeah, no, this has been floating around for a while, but this is the first time that we're actually, there's actually people are going to be talking about this under oath. So we'll see what happens.
Someone thought it was a good idea for Alec Baldwin to interview Woody Allen on Instagram Live.
I'm guessing that person was Alec Baldwin.
And he did a video like promoting it. Like, this is really happening. This is what I'm doing in my life. Like there's just no self-awareness as to the fact that nobody wants to hear either of them speak, much less both of them simultaneously.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say a few years ago, Alec Baldwin had a show on MSNBC for like a week, I think, where he did like long form interviews with people. And he did a really good one with Deborah Winger. Like he got really good stuff out of her. It's one of the few times I've heard two actors talking about like process and stuff that wasn't just like all bollocks. But yeah, right now, like read the room. Both of you guys could you just please?
I don't want to hear from either of them. I did not tune in for any of it. I do not care. But I had to mention it. And then we have some good news for you. Pedro Almodovar continues to astound. I know he's like your favorite person on the planet. Tell us about the new project he is working on, Alonso.
So, he made his English language debut with the short film The Human Voice, starring Tilda Swinton, that came out, during the pandemic. He is now doing his first Western that will also be in English, and it's also a short with Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal. I don't have the title in front of me.
It's called Strange Way of Life.
Strange Way of Life. Apparently, the fashion house Saint Laurent has been sort of underwriting these shorts from major directors. A film called Lux Eterna from Gaspar Noé, which premiered at Cannes a couple of years ago, and this year finally got a U.S. distribution, was one of those movies. So they're like doing the costumes, which I really want to see. These Saint Laurent Western costumes. And the interviewer's like, well, is this going to be sort of your response to Brokeback Mountain? And Almodovar's like, well, it's about masculinity. I mean, so anyway, I don't know that it's going to necessarily be his take on that kind of material, but I'm fascinated to see what it is he does with it. And all of this is as he is gearing up to make his first English language feature, a guide for cleaning women.
We'll have to review all of that.